If some years back everyone was mostly buying offline, growing technology made it possible to shop online and drastically increased the share of online purchases. But even then, until several years back, to have an online shop one had to spend sufficient funds on its development, and then, in the course of a year, fixing of all possible bugs took place. To build an online store one required significant financial investments and even more time. But it was like that until recently. Today you have an unlimited number of opportunities in terms of the online trade. To use Alibaba, to trade on Amazon, to use souq.com, to use platforms to construct your online stores in a matter of days and have them immediately connected to various payment service providers. You no longer spend that much time on creating infrastructure because it is already there for you and you just need to choose the one you're more comfortable with. As such, we will discuss now an e-commerce business, what steps you shall take to register a company, where you shall register it, license type and activities you shall choose for your business, as well as a lot of other additional information on the subject will be provided. One shall distinguish two most common types of e-commerce businesses. First of all, you can start a company where you will not hold any stock. Instead, you will just operate IT infrastructure, allowing website visitors to place orders online. Once the order is placed, you will be forwarding online requests to manufacturers, which will be fully responsible for preparing goods for shipment, arranging shipment, and shipping the product directly to the end customer. Secondly, you can lease a warehouse where you will keep the stock at all times, so that once the online order is received, you can ship the products right away. In other words, you can either provide an infrastructure only and be an online platform for one or multiple trading companies, or you can operate the online store completely on your own, being involved in all of the processes down the supply chain. As you can understand, the option number 2 with your warehouse requires several times more investments and efforts to manage the structure. In light of this, most startups do not opt for it from the start and instead start their journey by using a ready-made structure. It is worth mentioning that both structures may require completely different setups. Option number 1 perfectly fits into the concept of e-commerce businesses working in free zones, while option number 2 will definitely require from you setup of a local mainland company. The cost of a local company setup, as well as other operational costs you will need to incur, are discussed in other chapters across the course. As such, same setup costs should apply if you decide to proceed with e-commerce business where you will lease a warehouse. This cost will be definitely high for a startup with no external funding. At the same time, option 1 with just IT infrastructure is most commonly used today not only in the UAE, but worldwide in general. On the one hand, it requires minimum investments, as you can be set up in a free zone. Moreover, you can choose a free zone in one of the Northern Emirates, which will further decrease your investments. On the other hand, this option is well perceived by free zones, as you are not involved in the trade yourself, there is no physical goods exchange at any stage, and you are not dealing with your buyers offline, because they receive shipments directly from the manufacturer. So you are purely operating an online platform. You shall also bear in mind that if you decide to proceed with this option, setting up a company in a free zone, you will be most probably requested to provide a business plan. The whole purpose of the business plan will be to ensure that you will be not involved in the trade yourself. There will be no physical goods exchange at any stage, and you will be not dealing with your buyers offline. Additionally, free zone authority may request you to specify all the suppliers or manufacturers you will work with and outline the exact process of buying a product on your website. So you must have everything at hand as you go to register your company in a free zone. What is often seen is that once you decide to proceed with e-commerce business setup in a free zone, the question arises, which free zone to choose for this incorporation? Earlier, the concept of e-commerce was not very familiar to the UAE in general. Therefore, until recently, only a few free zones had a business activity in their list that was exactly titled as an e-commerce. If you would have come to other free zones at that time, you would be suggested to take a regular commercial license or a general trading one. Today, e-commerce activity is listed in Al Quwain Free Trade Zone, Ajman Free Zone, Fujairah Creative City Free Zone, and others. DMCC in Dubai offers an activity e-marketplace. As such, today there is an abundance of free zone options to choose from, and most entrepreneurs base their decision on the amount of investments involved, because registration costs vary from free zone to the free zone. As such, depending on the number of business partners you have and the number of visas you will require, you can review the costs offered by free zones for setup and choose that free zone which you will find within your budget. The two e-commerce schemes we just mentioned and discussed are not the only ones used by entrepreneurs. Some businessmen, as they grow, decide to take over certain steps in the supply chain process and open, for example, office in China and start managing shipments on their own. Others move away from online marketplace to distribution. There are also worldwide known brands which allow entrepreneurs to use their infrastructure to trade without the need to have a warehouse, access to buyers, and spend funds on online advertising. Amazon is just one example. There, you do not need to even store goods or distribute them. You simply determine which goods are in demand on Amazon, you order them from a certain Chinese manufacturer, goods are being delivered straight from China to the warehouse of Amazon, from where Amazon itself distributes goods as soon as your products are ordered by someone via Amazon website. On your part, you just manage your pages on Amazon, placing nice descriptions of the products and encouraging positive reviews. Souk.com has pretty much the same concept, as you might know, and now the company has been acquired by Amazon. What is also important to mention is that today you do not require to spend a lot of time on building your website or your online store and to enter into endless fight with the IT company you engage to assist you on that. Today you can use almost any website builder and your store will be up and running within a week maximum. You can use such platforms as Shopify and the like not only to build your e-commerce website, but also efficiently connect to a payment gateway and solve the problem of receiving payments. Now that you have all the options in front of you and you know how to start an e-commerce business at a minimum cost, it is time to act and have your online store running in the next weeks already.